Okay, it says we're live, so I'm going to trust that it is. How is everybody today? Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful sunshiny day here in northern Kentucky. It's cold outside. It's probably not as cold outside as I think it is. But anyway, it's everything's looking good. Okay, I had 0 up there, and then all of a sudden 25. I knew it wasn't 0. Anyhow, um, got a piece of walnut here. I did a large walnut bowl that maxed out this lathe not too long ago. My wife has been saying, "Oh, it's too big. It's too big." Last time I used it, she said, "Do you enjoy holding that big, heavy bowl?" I said, "It doesn't matter to me. It's not that heavy, so no problem." Then a little later, she said, "I wouldn't mind a walnut bowl to eat out of as well, just not quite as big around and not quite as open. Mine is very open. It's a very shallow bowl. This blank is a little deeper, and so we're going to attempt to do a bowl for her, a little smaller than mine. Right now, it's 11 and a quarter diameter. It's yeah, it's oh, what did I say? 4 inches, 3.5. It's about 4 inches, and that's all rough. I drilled through the bark on the natural side to give me a holding place just to get started. We're going to turn a recess here, flip it around, turn my outside the way I want it to be. Then I can turn it back around and do the inside of the bowl. I'm going to bring my friends in and let you see who, both of them. My two friends. That's what I have.
Evening, guys.
Wayne,
Good
good to have
evening.
you. Ruby, good to have you as well.
Well, no, Mark would have been here, but he's busy.
Yeah, he's doing a demo tonight. So maybe I've got three friends. I'll throw you guys back in the background. I'm going to get started. I'm going to do a recess here so I can flip it around. And these guys are going to let me know who all is in the chat for now.
Okay. I take it I'm doing this. I'm a Ruby.
Well, of course, with your accent, they don't want to listen to a Canadian accent.
Why not?
Okay, here we go. So we've got Rob from Copper Owl in. Obviously, Ruby's here. Gerard's here. Good evening, Gerard. Roger Wallum. Hello, Roger. Dale's in. Evening, Dale. And Jim Selby. Hello, Jim. And just starting to go down now. Todd at Glen Cove. Hey, Todd. Nice to see you. Well, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. Fred Gulliver's in. And Alex. That's Wurzel. Healy's in. That's Wooden Burl. Paul Huyton. Evening, Paul. Still going down. Brent Sobotka. And that's a name I haven't seen before. Clinton Wood Dancers. Al's in. Evening, Al. That's Albert Dawson for everybody else. And Mick Hughes is in. Hide your sandpaper, everybody. Mick's in. William Kenny's in. Hi, William. Nice to see you. And Lucy's in. Good evening, Lucy. Still going down. If I get to the bottom and I have missed anybody, I apologise. Stick something in the chat and I will catch you. And Rob from Klingspor Abrasives is in. Good evening, Rob. Keep an eye on the abrasives, mate. Mick Hughes is in.
Okay, Barry Chitty has joined us, and Andy
Yeah,
the Valley
Ben.
Woodturner.
Yeah, Ben as well. Looks like Andy's in as well. That's Lucy's better half. No, sorry. That's Lucy's worst half.
Better half.
No.
I was going to say other half.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't get better than Lucy, really.
You're
And
being the diplomat, Doug.
and Pete from Twisted Trees is in, and he is very happy to listen to a Canadian accent. Huh?
Well, I'll have to come over and give him a deluge of it so that he can get his fill.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Jamie's in. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh my goodness, this thing is heavy on one side. Heavy, heavy, heavy. that's okay. It won't be for long. Now did it again. I've got it on one chuck to get started with. I'm going to put it on a different chuck to continue with.
Yeah, Mick has said Rob doesn't need abrasives. He's too scared to go on a lathe. Lol. And Jamie is asking everybody, how are you all doing?
We're doing great over here in Canada. Right now it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit out and the sun is shining. And yesterday I actually saw a flock of robins, which is unusual and means spring is right around the corner.
A flock of robins.
Yeah, normally we only get one or two in the spring.
Yeah,
But
to tell you the
they're-
truth, it's actually very unusual to actually get two because they are very protective of their environment. You
Yeah,
only tend to you only tend to get one in the garden.
Well, I'd have taken a picture, except that I was walking the dog and it was kind of late in the evening and too dark to show up. But there must have been about 12 of them in this one tree. It was
All
incredible
right.
to see.
That's
I've never seen a flock at one time before.
yeah.
No, me neither.
I did have
Gerard
one
has
in the yard yesterday.
Gerard has said we've got a cold spell forecast here with snow. Yeah, I think we're going to miss that. I've had a look at the Met website, and I think we're going to get snow a little bit on Thursday, and that's going to be about it.
Alex,
I'm not. Alex has just said he's just sitting waiting for Wayne to get snowed in on Thursday. I don't think we're going to get a lot, Alex, to tell you the truth. Remember, I sit in a valley which is only about 68 feet above sea level, so I can't actually see us getting a hell of a lot.
I hope not. It wouldn't take much to fill up your valley.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go.
Sorry,
I
Doug, you
should
were
have
going to say something there.
I should have explained as I turned it around. I started with what's going to be the top side towards you, did a recess that fit my larger chuck. Now that I've turned it around, you can see this is the bark side. This is some of the bark. I chipped most of it off. There's something in the dust that collects in the walnut bark that causes me to break out if I turn through the bark. So I will never do a fully live edged walnut piece, unfortunately. I love them, but I won't do them because I break out. So anyway, I chipped most of it off. This had a big limb inclusion here. It does come out on what's on the top side. Most of that's going to turn away, as well as most of this bark area. All this bark area. I'm going to turn through it. I'll turn a different recess here, a larger recess, and then we'll just keep going. But right now we're just kind of flattening out, and I'm going to start curving it around as well.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to go back through the chat a wee bit.
Well, Chris Walters has joined us.
Hi, Chris. Lucy is saying to Rob from Klingspor that he should do a taster session turning at Yandles. And she's also saying that she may withhold brownies unless he does a taster session. And Rob has said, Lucy, how rude.
Now, JP wants to know, Doug, what do you break out into? Song?
Tracy Driver.
No. Break out in a rash.
Yeah, Ronald Todd's just come in.
Hey, Ron. I'd much rather break out in song than that
Dale
rash.
has said, Dale said they say we are going to have near record high temperatures for the next few days. I believe that's New York State, North New York State, I believe, where Dale is.
It's Old Man River?
Yeah.
Yes, New York State.
Yeah, Alex has said that there has been a yellow weather warning, but Alex has put it another way. He said, well, on the forecast, I saw you are getting yellow snow up north, so that's a bit disturbing. Yeah,
Oh.
never eat the yellow snow.
No, no. Contrary to popular belief, it does not taste like lemon.
And Pete Twisted Trees has said, I may have messed up. I turned a flock of bud vases for a craft fair fodder from the branch I took off the damson tree to build my wood store. Never thought that offer Lisa a chance to keep one. Oh, Pete, you are definitely in trouble.
Gentle Bear has joined us. He says it's sunny and 32 degrees in Maine.
Gentle Bear, that's another name I haven't heard. Roy's the
another
boy's
new
just
one.
come in as well.
Glad
Now,
to have you, Bear, Roy.
Gentle Bear, what is your first name, please? Please pop it in the chat.
He's maybe just come in for a look. He's got no content on his channel. So I've just been to have a look.
Bear, we'd love to have you as a regular. Come on in.
He says Gentle Bear is his name.
All right, okay.
Maybe.
Andy Door 60's just come in.
Hi, Andy.
How you, Dor? All right, just made my mark so I know how large I need this recess to be.
Yeah, JP, I don't know if anybody saw JP's premiere last night. I actually missed it. I think I was probably snoozing, to tell you the truth. I missed JP's premiere last night, but he actually turned a microphone.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I will be going back. I will be going back to watch that later on this evening.
So will I.
It's a neat microphone for broadcasting from your desk or what have you. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, there's quite a few people seeing the saw Jamie's premiere last night. Nice one.
Matt Harbour has joined us. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Just so you know, Matt, I had a couple of guys from the Detroit Club came over yesterday to visit. Jay Penfold and Bruce, and a young lady whose name, unfortunately, I've forgotten already.
Oh, it looks like Lucy and Andy have decided they're not going to the Newark show, which is, I think, the 9th and 10th of March, something like that.
And JP says, and he uses Klingspor. Just saying.
Yeah. All the best people do.
I use it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Doug uses it. Mick uses it only because he steals it.
I've got to get online and get some more ordered. I just bought small
Gentle
packs.
Bear has said he's just found this and he's been turning for 16 years. Part of the Western Mountain Wood Turners. Welcome.
Okay, cool. Glad to have you with us.
And Andrew, Age UK, has just popped in as well.
Precious.
Hi, Andrew.
And Brent has said, doesn't everyone use Klingspor? No, some people actually don't, Brent.
I can't think of another brand of sandpaper.
I can think of lots of them, but I'm not going to mention them.
I Tell you what,
Alex says he uses Abranet.
sure. Klingspor makes a mesh paper or mesh sanding mesh.
And Mick says he's got loads of Klingspor to use up before he needs to buy any.
I bet he does. Don't know where it might have come from, but yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard he's got plenty of it. All right, let's
yeah.
just look and see where
Mick took an empty case to Harrogate, and Klingspor just about left with an empty stand.
Mm-hmm. I know Mark's had to restock.
I never thought of when I visited Mark to load up my suitcase with sandpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, you messed up, Ruby.
Yeah, I don't tend to do those kind of things, so I'll have to get in practice. Maybe I'll take some lessons from Mick before I visit Mark again. Now, Gerard is saying the Klingspor is too difficult to source in the Green Isle.
Right, get in touch. I'm saying to Gerard, get in touch with Mark, the gentleman wood turner, because he is a distributor for Klingspor, and he should be able to get stuff across.
Roy says I should go with an empty suitcase. Actually, I need to go with 2 empty suitcases, one for sandpaper and the other one for wood like you that we can't get over here.
Now, I was going to ask, would you be allowed to take that back into Canada?
Actually, if it has bark on it and it was like in a log form, no. But if I were to put it on the lathe and round it down into cylinders or something, then it had already been machined. And as long as it has no bark on it, yes, I could.
Right, because I can't remember who I was talking to somebody about that a wee while ago, and whether that would be allowed or not.
Yeah,
Now,
whenever I go to France, I make sure I bring back some boxwood.
all right, okay.
Although
Now, Rob from
ahead.
Klingspor is saying to Gerard, is that going to change now with the new government guidelines or whatever they've done? Because that has just recently changed with Northern Ireland. Although Gerard is in Ireland itself, not Northern Ireland. I'm not sure if that is going to change, but get in, Gerard, get in touch with Mark and see what Mark says.
Now, Todd just made an interesting comment. He says that the new Mind channel has an interesting video on the incredible technology behind sandpaper. I'd love to watch that.
Yeah, there's that bark or that limb inclusion. There's just a little bit of it left, just a little bit of the bark left. We're going to continue on and get rid of that stuff, and then we'll be set to go. We make a good final cleaning cut, and then we'll come to the inside.
Grand. Roy's the boy turned a good sphere today. He did it live on TikTok. Is that part of the hashtag week, Roy? That you've done that?
He said he did it live on TikTok.
Yeah. And he's just answered my question, and yes, it is part of the hashtag week, and that's a freehand sphere. Steve from SK Crafts does a hashtag week. He does it sort of once a month, and this one is for a sphere turned freehand, no jigs.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It is. I've never had much luck with spheres, but I'm going to give it another shot.
There's several techniques you can do for doing it.
Yeah.
Now, Pete
When I
says
do,
that Stonehenge in the UK was refined with abrasives. Not sure if that was Klingspor, though.
Little bit of bark left right there. Not much. I'm down in the canyon
and
and barely got a mark
GP
left.
said GP said that he did a 7-inch resin sphere, which was absolutely beautiful. I've got to say.
Yes, it was.
When I do freehand spheres, I just tend to do them freehand.
Yeah, if you set your left and right parameters and then mark center and just take the corners off, you can come pretty close. And
Yeah,
if you want, you can make a little jig cut out of a piece of cardboard or even a piece of
yeah,
plywood.
or use the shadow method as well. You can
Right,
do that as well. And Matt said, remember when I did that multi-axis ornament on one of the Wednesday night meetings? He
Oh, yeah.
started with the sphere using the octagon method. Yeah,
right.
that works as well. And Jim has said that Emma, the tiny turner, has just released a video of a resin sphere. You'll think it'll be up for a couple of days.
I watched that demo the other day. It was quite good.
And Clint
Um,
says
uh, uh, uh,
here,
now Emma did a live doing resin sphere on, was that on Sunday? I can't remember now.
Mm,
Can't remember when that was, but she
Friday or
did it
Saturday,
live
wasn't
and it was very, very good.
it? Yeah.
And Clint the Wood Dancers has said he airbrushed Joe Sonia iridescence on his feet to see how it would spray. And how did that work? I've got to ask Clint, how did that work?
now is that the shape you were aiming for, Doug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fred has said, yep, yes, I was right. Emma's live was on Sunday. And Rob has said he could 3D print one. No, nobody said it had to be turned in wood. Well, that's true.
Well, I'm losing the cut right about an inch from the top. Yes, this is basically the shape I was looking for. I didn't want it to be as open as mine is, um, but I wanted to be able to get into it easily and be able to mix for salad.
Now, Pete says that spheres are easy. Get something cubish and take all the corners off. Makes perfect sense to me,
Um,
Pete.
right. Clint has answered me with how the airbrush works with Joe Sonia's. He said it was a weird effect, and he thinks it's look better. It looks better put on with full strength. Yeah, because if you use Joe Sonia's iridescence at full strength, it won't go through an airbrush. Ben has said Emma's live was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, you know, Ben, I think you're probably right there.
I think so. I think it was. I was going to say, too, I don't know that you read Ben's name out. But
Yes, he did.
okay. I was going to ask a while ago, and conversation started going another direction, so I didn't. But glad to have everybody, Ben included.
And JP said Wayne still needs to finish off sanding the pyramids. He only got one done. That geezer needs to put his ideas up, lol.
Yeah, we finished off a lot more than one pyramid, didn't we, Wayne?
I'm sure we did, Ruby. I'm sure we did. I think wear and tear is just taking the finish off a wee bit.
Yeah, that could possibly be it.
Some of those pyramids are in tough shape.
Well, that was a long time ago when we were young and we did them, you know.
I know.
Young
I
and
know.
fit.
Right. Now we're old and fit.
Old and nearly healthy. Fit, I don't know about.
Let's take a look at this before we. Where there was a little limb coming right there. There's a little nick right there, but I'm not going to worry about that one.
You could take that right off and just bring the bowl in a little bit more, give it a rounder shape at the bottom.
Yeah, I can. When I turn it back around, yeah. All right, I think I'm just going to sand it a little bit right here.
And yes,
AG,
Matt, round is the shape.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
AG. Oh, here we go. AGK has said to Robert Klingspo about using a 3D printer. That's cheating. You would have to use the wood effect thing. And Robert Klingspo has said, I could tell people I coloured it after making it.
Oh, and JP said that at least you and I kept the wings on the pyramids. You know, it's a certain RPT that couldn't do that.
Oh, nice
Well,
one, Jimmy.
that's because that RPT hadn't even been born back then.
That's the one issue with these twist lock sanding pads. You get on the wrong side and they will come right off.
And Mick said to Rob that he can do a sphere live at Newark. He'll book you some time on the lathe. And Rob said to Mick, yeah, sure, let's say 10 p.m.
Well, Rob, if you ever want, I'll fly over and give you some free lessons.
Come down to Mark's in April, Rob, and we'll both give you a lesson.
Rob said that was kind of us, Wayne. Now, shh.
Shush. Yes, Lucy, we could do it at Harrogate.
I'd like to come over for Harrogate this year.
That sounds like a good plan, Ruby.
Well,
It's around about the middle of November. I don't think the dates are out for this year's, but it's around about the middle of November.
yeah, it's 2 weeks after the wood show here. And Matt says I can do the lessons over Zoom. Yes, I could, Matt. It's been done before. Oh no, JP says Harrogate's just been canceled.
No, I think that might be a wind up. He's put lol at the end of it.
Well, if it does go and I come over, I'll have to source out some places to stay and travel
Oh,
where I should fly into and all that stuff.
yeah, grand. We can sort that out during the year. We can have a chat about that during the year with Mark and Pete and everything.
I'm not too sure the British population would feel safe with me driving over there. I mean, they don't drive on the right side of the road over there.
I know.
Yes, we do.
No,
We
they
do drive.
don't.
Yes, we do. We drive on the right side of the road. The right side of the road is the left side of the road to drive on.
No, no. Right is right and left is left, and you do not drive on the right side.
There are more countries in the world that drive on the left-hand side of the road than drive on the right.
That's because we didn't go over and twist their arms and tell them they had to.
It all goes back. It all goes back to medieval knights. That's why people drive on the left. It all goes back to the medieval knights, which obviously you didn't have across there.
Now, Wayne, have you ever watched two knights as they're advanced towards each other with their lances? They
No,
always pass. They pass on the right side of the
no,
other
they
person.
don't. No, they don't. Yes, so they are riding on the left because they're holding the lances in the right hand.
No, they ride on the right.
No, they don't.
Well, all the ones that I've seen
But the thing is, when it comes to driving on the left, the whole thing about driving on the left was that when you approach somebody, because usually people were right-handed, when you approach somebody, rather than taking your hand across and pulling your sword out, you actually held your hand up, your right hand up, to show that you weren't any danger. And this is where actually saluting came from as well, which is why people, you are right about the lance thing. People do drive on the ride on the right for the lance thing, but when it actually came to meeting people, people rode on the left because they held their right hand up to show they weren't any danger to you.
Gentle Bear says, we just drive on what's left of the road here. It's all potholes.
I understand that.
That makes it like a slalom course to get around the potholes.
There you go.
Of course, the spring is pothole season.
Using a little bit of Parfex 3408 here to give me a good base on this walnut. It's been sanded to 240.
Thanks, Gerard. That really is showing up pretty.
I'll come back later with abrasive paste and wax, and this will buff up really nice for this 3408 to make it a good solid base.
Now, Ben says that the McDonald's drive-through is always on the right.
It's always on the left here. If it was on the left over there, y'all be in trouble.
Yeah, it's always on the left here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the right here.
That means the whole building's backwards.
Yeah, Matt is asking what kind of walnut is that? I think you said it was black walnut, didn't you?
Yep.
Black Anita's walnut. In. Hi, Anita.
Anita. Now, Mick says, Wayne, they've only started using roundabouts in Canada. It's brilliant fun watching the confusion. And Mick, I have to agree with you. People over here, they've never been taught how to use them, and they sure do mess up traffic.
Oh, I've got to say it now. I remember Jamie and Jake talking about a few years ago when Jake was across from me at Central, and Jake was doing all the driving because Jamie doesn't drive, and the amount of annoyance that Jake got with driving around roundabouts.
Oh, mercy.
Now, Matt,
go ahead.
Matt says saluting came so that superior officers could make sure that there was no knife in the hands of the troops.
Yep.
And Pete says you can't argue with Wayne or myself because you turned the lances.
Well, to tell you the truth, I wish I could turn lances the way that Steve Jones used to. I don't think he turns that many now, but he certainly used to turn a hell of a lot of lances for medieval shows and things like this.
Right. When I started making those swords, I ended up having to make a number of them for some medieval things here. Now, Precious wants to know, Doug, what CA are you using?
Parfex 3408.
That's what Jamie said.
Yeah, it's a high quality CA. Not available in a lot of places, partly because the company does not sell at retail, only at wholesale for industrial customers. Now, that being said, they do have some retail folks around, and if you'd like some, just contact me on Messenger, and I'll be glad to talk with you about it. It's a new development. I just recently got that.
Your
Yeah,
mic's
so.
gone off a wee bit there, Doug.
Now, Ben wants to know how you would compare that super thin, compare super thin CA to sealer, Doug. The Parfex isn't that thin, Ben, and it has a longer open time, and it does a very good job of sealing the wood.
Yes.
Most sealers, you have to wait a little longer to get it to set before you can continue.
JP said, Doug, I've got a mic available if you need a new one.
What kind of mic did you put inside of there, JP?
There's been a couple of comments about roundabouts. Matt said they do roundabouts in the States. There is resistance. Sorry. I was a skeptic, but now I'm a believer they promote faster traffic throughput, sorry. And Brenta said they're starting to put roundabouts in our part of the world, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and people generally hate them. You don't actually get a lot of them. I spent a lot of years over in Germany. You don't tend to get a lot in Germany. You do get a lot here. Now, Lucy has said for Jamie, the next time Jake's over, take him to Swindon and get him to do the magic roundabout. Now, the magic roundabout is something else.
Yes, I've been on that one.
Yeah, this is a main roundabout with about 10 other roundabouts. Probably not that many, but around about 10 other roundabouts going around it.
You know what was interesting? One of the last times I was in England, I was up visiting the facilities of Record Power and seeing how they made their products. And I took a walk in the evening, and I said the pathway went down underneath like an overpass.
Yeah.
I'd be darned if on the pathway they didn't have a walking roundabout. I even took a picture of it since I've never seen a walking roundabout.
A walking roundabout. I
Wow.
haven't seen one of them. Oh,
Why
mind
would they
you,
have a walking roundabout?
in Carlisle, which is about 35, 40 miles from me, just over the border in England. When you're coming down into the city centre, they've got a big roundabout there with an underpass with about 4 entrances, pedestrian entrances down into the underpass, and I'm sure they have a centre there with flowers and bushes and things growing out. So you do have to actually walk around a centerpiece.
Yeah. Norman Greenwell has joined us. Welcome,
Evening,
Norman.
Norman.
Are you Norman? thought it was interesting. I saw some analytics the other day, and I hear a lot of people say 60%, 70% of my audience are not subscribers. My subscribers watch, and I am so grateful for you guys as you watch and that you're subscribers. Um, Mine says about 70% of my watchers are subscribers, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, you know, Doug, I tried to subscribe, but they won't let
Now,
me subscribe twice.
I know.
right, Roy has put in. We're talking about driving on the left again here. Roy's put in a couple of things here. The custom of driving on the left dates back to prehistory and may later have been used as early road safety measures. At a time when the main danger on the roads was mugging, careful travellers would pass oncoming strangers on the left with their sword arm towards the passerby, which is very similar. That's more a more aggressive thing, but it's very similar to what I was saying. Now, Mick has said you can get a calendar of UK roundabouts. That's
You
just
mean
mental.
you mean there's only 12 of them in the whole UK?
That's probably the 12, probably the 12 worst ones, to tell you the truth.
Could be. We've got some in some strange places here in Kentucky. I tell you what, just out in the middle of nowhere, and there'll be a roundabout.
And
Niantic River.
Chris Nealon has
Oh,
says
yeah, sorry, I missed that. It is Chris. Sorry, Ruby.
Chris Nealon is saying looking good, Doug.
Thank you.
Your turn, Wayne.
Oh, God. Shug's just come in. Evening, Shug.
Doug, what's up?
Yeah, and he said the only roundabout I'm interested in is I've earned round about 50 quid out of that job.
That sounds good to me too.
That's Shug, keeping it classy.
Should keep it classy.
Oh, always.
Well, there is top class and bottom class.
No, the Shug's usually third.
Goodness gracious, this is some hard walnut. Yeah, I'm getting thick right there. I need to sharpen up real quick.
JP says with the concrete cows.
Yeah, that's on one of the roundabouts. I can't remember which one that's on.
Concrete cows.
Yeah.
Is there a story with that?
Now, I'm not too sure, but while Doug is sharpening his gouge, just let you know, I will be live tomorrow night. I will have the usual, hopefully, the usual earworms in, and I have got absolutely no idea what I'm going to be turning.
Back to normal, huh?
Yeah, back to normal.
Nothing wrong with that. Now Ben had an amazing idea. Before 12 p.m., roundabouts should be clockwise, and then after they should be counterclockwise.
Talk about
Now,
confusing.
there was a proposal that a few years ago to have the UK move from driving on the left to driving on the right. And what the proposal was that HGVs would move over on the Tuesday at 12 p.m. and on the Wednesday, all the rest of the vehicles would move over at 12 p.m.
Now Todd has said, has anyone experienced a diverging diamond interchange? That will blow your mind the first time you go through one. Yes, I have. You just have to keep your eyes all around you.
I can't see I've ever done that one.
Is that your Easy Wood round scraper?
Yes, this is the full size finisher.
Finisher?
Yes.
There is part of the M8 that goes through Glasgow when you're heading east on the M8. Now, obviously, we drive on the left, so all the exits tend to be on the left. But there is one particular part of the M8 going through Glasgow where you actually exit on the right, which is very, very strange.
Yes. Yeah, we've got a few entrances down here that, or exits that are on the right, or on the left rather. And I know it's what you're saying. It's just opposite, but it throws you off.
Okay, so it looks like I've got 3 of my usual earworms coming in tomorrow night, and I will contact Martin tomorrow to see what he's doing.
Okay. Now,
And
Pete.
Pete, no, you carry on, Ruby. You started.
Okay, Pete says he'll be doing lives for the next 6 Sundays as Terry is on a prison ship going to the colonies. He's written down projects for each of them, mostly to ensure he doesn't trick me into a 7th week.
I will certainly be earworming on one of them.
I will if he sends me an invitation. And Ben says, just think, when we have driverless cars, we won't need traffic systems. All the cars will just pass each other within a few millimeters of a collision.
I do that now.
Yeah, that's normal, isn't it, Wayne?
Yeah, I mean, before I started wearing glasses or spectacles, whatever you want to call them, when I was around about how old was I? Around about 29 when I started wearing specs. And I've always said since that before I started wearing spectacles, I used to drive by touch. If I didn't touch anything, I was doing fine.
I still go that way. One thing I kind of deduced was that a lot of the more aggressive drivers tended to have been athletes in their youth.
I went to Boston one time, rented a car. It was in the middle of downtown Boston when I was almost run straight over by a lady in a brand new Cadillac. It still had the sticker in the window. It was so new.
Wow.
And don't you know, I was telling the folks that I was seeing about it, and they said, after I told them the whole story and everything, of course, I was in a rental car, so I was a little paranoid anyway. Didn't want it to get hurt. And they said, after it was all said and done, they said, "You looked, didn't you?" I said, "Well, yeah. Got to look so I don't get hit. If I hadn't been looking, she'd have run right over me." They said, "That's the problem. You looked." They said, "Never look. Just go." I thought, well,
Hey,
how in the world is the whole city not paralyzed with wrecks every single day?
Norman has said to me that he sure several years ago, whilst towing a caravan, I converged onto the motorway on the right-hand lane. And Mick is replied to that saying there is a motorway in the UK that you join in the right-hand lane. Now there is part of the M6 which goes north to south on the right-hand side. Or sorry, if you actually on the west side of the UK. And there is a particular part of the motorway when you're getting down towards Manchester where there are sort of 2 motorways converge, and you actually end up being in the outside lane, which is the right side lane as they converge. Robert Klingsport has said, "I like Boston. It's a great city."
It is. I'll agree with
Yeah,
that.
And Sugar said, I like Boston too. It's more than a feeling.
I get it.
Yeah, I got it.
Boston is a nice city. It's a pretty city, loads of history. And at the time, they had a major road project going on called the Big Dig. It was a big underpass, is what it was. I was going through there. There's about 6 lanes that converge down to one in each direction, and so it's major traffic. And the people who live there just go. All right.
That's got to, surely that's got to cause a hell of a lot of backup.
Well, it did at that time. That's over now. Um, I saw pictures not too awful long ago. It was a beautiful interchange. So I'm sure the locals are glad it's over.
Lucy said she's never been to the States or Canada. Well, I spent a wee little time in Canada, but it was across more towards the west.
You never came and visited me.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually have time at that point. In fact, to tell you the truth, Ruby, I didn't even know you then.
That's true. Although we did work together on the pyramids. You just forgot about
Yeah, I mean,
that
yeah,
time period.
that was a memory thing.
Still got almost a whole inch in the bottom of this, so I'm gonna take a little bit more out of it, just because I can. Now that
Now, Brenda said he took a taxi ride in London back when he was in the Air Force. One of the most terrifying experiences of his life.
I can
every
imagine.
everyone was on the wrong side of the road. No, everyone was on the proper side of the road.
Now Ben says London is horrible. I didn't find it when I was there.
It's a big city. How did you miss it?
I walked.
Right, Todd has said right. Okay, Todd is answering Lucy about not being in Canada, and he said, Lucy, you need to see Banff and Lake Louise and the Canadian Rockies. Absolutely stunning. And
Yes.
I have got to agree. I stayed in Banff for a couple of nights. I have visited Lake Louise. I've driven up through the Canadian Rockies, and it is absolutely stunning.
When I was in my youth, I worked in the Banff Lake Louise area, and my grandparents homesteaded the town of Brooks just outside of Calgary. Yeah, that's God's country out there.
I spent a few days in Calgary. Luckily enough, I caught the Stampede while I was there, so we got to visit the Stampede, and then travelled up Lake Louise, Banff, and spent another few nights in the Jasper area, and
Yeah,
then
which
drove
was
back.
nice too.
Yeah, and then drove back down to Calgary and went back to just outside Medicine Hat to finish off the R&R.
Well, when I was younger, I worked as a trail guide on horseback, taking trips through Banff National Park.
Absolutely amazing place to visit. It
Now,
really is.
Rob from Klingspor says that his favorite Canadian city is Vancouver, and Vancouver does have a lot to offer. You have the ocean, you have the mountains. There's a lot of history and stuff to see there.
Jimmy said to Lucy, Lucy, you need to go to the theme park at Niagara Falls. You go over the falls in a barrel. It's great fun.
Oh, absolutely. And you can bring your own barrel if you want. It was amazing, Matt. What I do is I would save my days off to the end of the summer. And then Brett would truck me up the highway with 2 horses. And I would go back in through the mountains for a week or 2. And then he'd pick us up along the highway somewhere. And that was how I spent my youth.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it was.
I've been to Toronto twice and Niagara 3 times, and it's a beautiful area. I love it.
Now, Todd has said, and I'd love to do something like this. Nearly a 7,500 mile, 7-day round trip from Dallas to Jasper that he did one year. Just amazing. I would imagine that was. I'd love to do something like that.
He'd have gone right up alongside of the Rockies.
So would he have gone up the eastern side of the Rockies?
Yes. JP says that Andrew did it in a baked bean tin. And Todd wants to know if he had those floaties on his arms.
No, he couldn't do that. They wouldn't fit in the tin.
Well, there was one year I remember he wouldn't have been able to go over, and that was 1932, because the falls actually froze that year.
Oh, right.
About frozen now, aren't they?
Pardon?
Aren't they about frozen now?
Oh, heck no. No, in fact, you don't even want to go close to out there.
And Matt said he was a ski bum for 2 seasons in the Colorado Rockies, and he spent a fair amount of time backcountry skiing, including overnight treks from Aspen over the divide to Crested Butte. Nice one, Matt.
I didn't know you were a skier too, Matt. I had my license as a ski instructor and did ski patrol on that.
Is there anything you haven't done, Ruby?
Well, if there is, I'm working on them.
Nice one. Nice one.
I enjoyed my youth, and I was into an awful lot of things. Oh, I raced downhill skiing until I was about 36.
All right.
I was an adrenaline junkie. I probably still am.
Was that before, during, or after you were doing the camera scuba diving?
That was just before, because I did we did the underwater TV series for about 20 years, 26 years, and that went through the 70s, 80s, into the 90s.
Nice.
Got just a little bit of tool mark in here. That's what I'm working on. Not tool mark, but tear out.
Now, Matt said he was on the avalanche crew at Aspen Highlands, ski patrol and instruction too. He did some racing and bump contests. I'll bet, Matt, we crossed paths long before we crossed paths as turners. I can remember being out west, and we used to cause cornices sometimes to break off, and then we'd race them down into the tree line and hope we didn't get caught.
Okay.
JP, they never had to yell that for me. I was actually a pretty controlled skier. Yes, Gerard, moguls is what they called the bumps.
So Todd was asking Matt where he's from. So Matt is in the Detroit area in Michigan, just across the river from Ruby.
Yep. Well, I met Matt many, many years ago when he first got into turning as part of the Detroit area wood turners. And I was one of the founding members of that club.
And Rob said he went skiing with the school and he was doing great till it took us to the top of the hill and it was all downhill from there. God. He doesn't get any better, does he?
Nope. Well, Matt, for me to come over to the States, I'd have to apply for a special visa, and I think they want me to submit $2,000 with that application.
Because Ruby was a bad girl when she was
That was all because of somebody not liking to do in the demonstration. I mean, how ridiculous.
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to teach somebody how to wood turn, and they gave me $50 gas money and toll fare. And someone else told customs I was stealing work from them, made such a big deal out of it that they pulled me over and gave me a 5-year ban from entering the States.
That's, I don't, to me, that's just simply ridiculous. Totally
Well,
ridiculous.
the guy at that time was president of one of the wood turning clubs over there, and he got thrown out of their club when the members found out what he had done.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I'll be
Shoot a little
honest,
alcohol.
I really miss the people that I saw over there. There were great people in all of the local clubs.
Mm-hmm. That was just a little bit of alcohol to clean some of the dust out. Should have done that on the outside, but I didn't. Alcohol just cleans the dust out, raises the grain just a little bit, but dries very quickly. In fact, I'll turn that on while I'm getting myself together here.
You've just gone 9 o'clock. Sorry, you've just gone over the hour.
Okay.
Now, as you get yourself together, make sure you put all the parts back in their right place.
Absolutely. Let's see. Toe bone's connected to the elbow bone, right?
Yep. Now, Brent says he was obsessed with mogul skiing back in the 80s. Tried doing it again last winter and destroyed the ACL in his knee, and he's still recovering from the surgery.
Yeah.
That's telling you something.
I'm afraid that would happen if I were to go back doing moguls again now, too.
Just a little bit more info on my live tomorrow night. I am going to start off with doing a quick box opening of a new tool I've got and mentioning the giveaway for it as well. So tell your friends. And I've got to say this now. I'm really sorry, but this is only going to be for the UK audience. I really cannot afford to send this across to the States. It's only going to be for the UK audience. But let your friends know, get them to come in and subscribe because you need to be a subscriber so you can enter the giveaway, and you'll find more about that tomorrow night on my live.
Well, how about if I were to give you Mark's address for me? Would that work?
I could do that, but not everybody is going to be able to do that.
I'm teasing you, Wayne.
Little lax abrasive paste just to clean up this outer edge. I'm going to start with the outside on this, and then I'll come back and get that CA just a minute to dry on the inside. This the Parfix takes a little longer to set up unless you use a brace or use accelerator. You have about 45 seconds to a minute of open time on it. But it does, because it's super thin, it penetrates better than regular CA does. And this 3408 is both low odor and low foam. That's kind of what got me started with it. The fumes were starting to really bother me. And I was getting more foaming for some reason with what I was using. And so after hearing some of these guys talk about it and how it didn't have as much odor, I gave it a shot, and I found them to be completely correct. I don't get the fuming, the little puff of smoke coming up that so many have. Oh, come on. There's what I wanted. I've got to readjust my cameras again. They got messed up today.
Now, Roy has said, Ruby, your name came up on TikTok Live last night, late last night with Steve T. That's actually Steve Trudell, Temple Boy Turnings, seeing how a great woman you are.
That's why my ears were burning last night. Roy, don't believe everything you hear on TikTok. I'm just
Yeah, but
I'm an ordinary person. I'm not something super special, believe me.
but it was Steve that said it, so it means something. Oh, Susie's just come in. Good evening, Susie.
Hi, Sue.
Raise the RPMs a bit. Go to a clean piece of paper towel, starting to buff this back. Get the excess off.
That's a nice shaped bowl. I like that.
Well,
that's one of my favorite shapes, to tell you the truth.
Here we go. Now you can actually see it.
I do like that shape.
It's a nice shape. It's easy. It'll be easy for her to eat out of and still be able to mix salads and whatnot. She saw how much fun I was having. I dump a big bunch of lettuce in there and then start dumping everything else, put my meat on top, salad dressing, and I just go to town with my fork, just whipping it around. And she's trying to do it out of a little mixing bowl. And I'm thinking, dude, if you had a real salad bowl. So now she's going to have one. And I left a little rim, so it's easier for her to grab hold of.
Doug.
It's all right. I'm just saying I left this little rim here so that she could hold it very easily. So what was Matt saying?
Matt was saying, judging from the pictures that Jay posted, Ruby, your house is a place of wood-turning wonders.
No, I'm not sure I would go that far. I just have a collection of pieces I've done over the years that I keep around to remind myself of what I've done and what I have. Then I know what I still have to learn. It's a wonder the pictures showed up. Everything's under dust here. I don't know where the dust comes from.
I can't tell you what. It's crazy. I sweep up, and next thing I know, my shop floor looks as bad or worse than it did before.
My whole house is getting to be like that.
I understand. All right. Just about to the point where I can.
I've got 3 inches of dust. I had a look the other day. I've got around about 3 inches of dust on the joists in the ceiling of my workshop.
And Todd says that one of my adventures is more than most people do in a lifetime. Well, that's a choice they make. Like, for example, I won't go spend a week sitting on a beach in Florida. I'd rather spend a week or two flying to France and taking a wood turning lesson in the mountains.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't seen a couple of Ruby's recent posts, which may have been memories, but some of the painting that Ruby does is exceptional as well.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you, Wayne.
It's phenomenal. Love it.
Matt was mentioning he saw a picture of the nested balls, which are called either the Chinese balls or ornamental balls, where you have a sphere inside a sphere inside a
Oh yeah,
sphere.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, one of them that I have, it's about 100 millimeters across, and it contains 13 spheres inside. And when I did that, we made the tools for it because you couldn't buy them.
Dear me.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't need to change furnace filters, Matt. I just take mine out and hose them down and put them back in.
That would be nice. I'd like to have permanent. Here we go.
I've had
Yeah, we
a
can
couple of
see it.
things come up
You're
on.
upside down. You're upside down. That's better.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of things come up in YouTube on TubeBuddy,
There we go.
which I haven't posted, but a couple of milestones. I've had 600 and odd. I think it must be 700 videos uploaded now.
Fantastic.
I can't remember how many that. Hang on, I'll have a look. But I've had, and I'm 9 short, just 9 short of 4,500 subscribers.
Congratulations, Wayne.
That's terrific. That is great news. I'm at
Yeah,
177 videos. This will be 178 here, I think. Something
yeah.
like that.
I hit 475,000 views on the 25th of January, 700 uploads on the 18th of January.
Mm.
And I know Jamie is going to start going on about the amount of views he had for his. Oh, God, I forget the name of the piece now. The platter that he did. I'm sure Jamie will mention it, but. Ovankol, the Ovankol platter. He had well over 400,000 views on that. Well over.
That's amazing.
I think my highest viewed video has been about 700, 800, something like that.
Yeah.
But that'll come someday. You know, I'm not. So many people get so uptight about that stuff. I don't know. I don't do it for
I
that.
know. But Jamie's put in. He's had 550,000 views on that Ovankol platter.
Wow. Wow. That's tremendous.
That's amazing. I've only got 2 YouTube things out, and I haven't got a clue how many views have been on them.
Brent, my channel name, you should be able to see when I put stuff in the chat, although I haven't put stuff in the chat, is Wayne the Wood Turner.
Ah, Lewis has joined us. Welcome, Lewis.
Hey,
Hi,
Lewis.
Lewis.
I was really glad to hear that snowstorm the other day missed you. The east coast of Canada got hit pretty heavy with a lot of snow.
All right, there's the
Seeing as
outside.
how Brent asked, there is a link to my YouTube channel in case anybody wants to go over and subscribe. Be very pleased if you do. I tend to do a lot of lives, not many videos at the moment, but I do tend to do, or I used to do 2 lives a week. At the moment, I'm doing 1. I'm hoping to get back into doing 2. But I have got to say, the lives that I do, I don't tend to talk a lot. I tend to do the turning, and the guys in the background who are my earworms tend to take stuff off piste. Since we were talking about skiing, they definitely tend to take things off piste.
Kind of like we're doing for Doug, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, but a little bit worse.
Well,
Yeah,
that's true. They do get quite a bit far out from us.
the Heckle and Jekyll comedy hour.
Yeah, JP has said that Shug and AGK do all the talking, and he does the memes.
Pretty much. Pretty much. All right.
But it's usually a fun night.
And
Yeah,
It might be.
Matt says it's great fun, and the best part for him is trying to interpret the slang. I agree with you on that, Matt.
It might
turn
be a
on
bit
the
longer
closed
than.
caption.
Oh, sorry, Doug. Carry on.
I was just gonna say, turn on the closed caption sometime and see, because that closed caption system has a hard time understanding sometimes. It's pretty funny.
Now, Ronald Todd says, "Nice chatoyance, Doug. Did you ever find your ring?"
No, nope. There's only one area where it could possibly be. That's directly in front of me. On the other side of the walkway, there's a table with all kind of stuff under it. It could be back in all of that. I didn't pull any of that stuff out. It could be back in there. If it's not there, it got swept up, and I didn't. I went through everything on the floor hand by hand. One handful at a time, and I never found it. So
Now, Royce the boy says he has
Nearly 8,500.
8,842
Oh,
subs.
nearly 9,000.
Okay, and 2,775 views. That's
Nice
pretty
one, Roy.
impressive.
Tomorrow night's live might be a bit longer, since I'm going to do the giveaway thing first. But we will have some turning done as well. Oh, here we go. You had to mention that. It wasn't 2004, Jamie. It was 2000. Sorry, it wasn't 2024. It was 2023 when I made the ring.
yeah, I
Yeah,
made
and
myself
Jamie
a ring.
said we
Go
need another Saturday Night Live win. Yes, we do. We really do.
I made myself a ring, and I didn't get the finish on it well, and it failed. So if I can find it, I will just simply refinish it because it's walnut.
All the ones I made somehow or another disappeared. They walked out the door.
Hmm.
I even made some little things to put on my keychain. And one of my neighbors came over and she said, "Oh, I need that one for my friend. It's her birthday," and it left.
Hmm.
Right. Roy is asking me if I'm doing the sphere tomorrow night for hashtag. I'm not going to do that tomorrow night, Roy. No. I haven't decided what I'm doing, but I am not going to do the sphere tomorrow night. I will do the sphere for the hashtag. I'm just uncertain on what I'm going to do, on whether it's going to be just a sphere, on whether it's going to be a hollowed out sphere, on whether it's going to be a sphere then off-centered and hollowed out. So I'm uncertain on that one, but it will get done.
Now, Lewis
Good.
wants to know, Wayne, Didn't you make that famous ring from the Middle Earth, the precious one?
The precious one. I did, and I don't know what that the ring in the film actually said with the runes, but I must have put some spelling mistakes in there somewhere.
Now that would be me.
And JP says that Shug is breaking out in a rash because he won't use the Shugism for a few weeks. Hashtag Wayne's fault.
Okay, right. I'll see what I can do. As you can probably tell, I'm in a wee bit better mood mentally at the moment. I'm actually in a wee bit better frame physically at the moment, so I may well do a Saturday night.
That'll be good.
You're getting a lot of requests, Wayne, to do a ring.
Yes, I know. No, it's only been around about 4 months since I did a live gig turning a ring, and it tends to go a little bit over the top when I do that. So I'm going to leave that at least another 6 months.
All right, just buffing out this wax. I'll probably come back and put some more on it. In fact, I know I will. One place I saw just a minute ago, one place in the rim, I want to come back and sand it. So I'll redo the whole kit and caboodle. We're right now done.
Yeah, Jamie said since your last one got demonetized. Actually, it didn't, Jamie. which was very surprising.
Now, Matt wants to know, is this one you wear in your hand or a captured ring?
No, it's one that you wear on your hand, Matt. I tend to. Matt's asking, what's the best way to orient the grain for a finger ring? I tend to keep it in end grain mode, to tell you the truth.
I tend to prefer side grain.
All right, okay, that's cool.
Well, here it is.
That's a pretty piece of wood, and you've done a lovely job of shaping it.
It's black walnut. It's been sitting around in the shop for a good while. Had some issues in the log. Well, this was a half log that I had. I had the other half still sitting over there. That's getting right up close to the bark, but it's in a great place. It's got chatoyance around it. And then as you come around to the other side, you get this flash over here. You could see it when it was still in the chuck. But anyway, outside, inside, it looks just as nice. There we go.
Absolutely beautiful, Doug. And you've got lots and lots of nice comments coming
Thank
in
you
there.
all. Thank you all. I'll finish getting this polished up. I'll get my mark in the recess there. Like I said, there's got one little place right there. I'll hit that with some sandpaper and refinish that rim. I want to get some more wax on it inside and out. In fact, I may take it to the buffing wheel and buff it out. But that's it. Appreciate everybody being here. It's been a good time. What are we, hour
Now,
and 25 minutes now?
yeah, everything's fine. Now, Matt is asking me, how do you keep the rings from breaking in end grain? Do I use a CA glue finish? No, I don't, Matt. I just tend to use a wax finish. But what I tend to do is make the ring a fairly loose fit.
Yeah.
So there's no actual pressure on the wood.
I do
God,
too.
here we go. I can see some comments coming. I can foresee some comments coming in now.
Yeah. Anyway.
See, JP's just put one in.
Oh, me. All right, folks. It's been a good day. I've gotten some good things done. Let me pull this one over. This is the funniest looking bowl I've ever turned. This is the one I started with that long piece. It was 3 pieces glued up. And you can see there's what I was looking for. I wanted that squarish base. But this one, here we go. Well, if I set this, get this the right way, here we go. This one looks like a little bit like a baseball diamond. It's thicker, 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 skinnier on these 2 corners here, or 2 sides.
In other words, you've got your bases all covered.
They're all covered. And it was just a little off center when I turned that side of it. The Wingay came out a little nicer. There's the base, nice and square. And the top is mostly round. It's got 1 flat side. It's supposed to have 4 flat sides on it. So I know what I did wrong. Good concept. I'm going to do it again and try to do a better job. But this was the object for the day. And so got a good bit of turning done today. It's been fun.
She's going to appreciate it very much. I can tell you.
I think so. And I tell you what, this bowl is heavier than mine, which is bigger. I'm not sure why. The only place it's got any thickness to it is right in the transition down here toward the bottom. The bottom is thin. The bottom, well, I feel it. It's the inner wall does not exactly parallel the outer wall. So that's why. So from here to, let's see if I can show you, from about there to about there. So that much of it, it's a little thicker. But anyway, it's okay. She'll enjoy it. She'll have a great time. This will be relatively impervious since it's got the CA down in the wood. And then it's got a wax finish, and it'll have more wax put on it. So I think she'll enjoy it. Wayne, you're on tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night,
unless something goes wrong with your leg. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. GMT.
And Ruby's, you'll be doing some more teaching, I'm assuming?
Tomorrow afternoon, there's a Record Power live session going on.
No,
okay.
I think that's going to be happening around about the same time as I'm live, Ruby.
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah, these things happen sometimes.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever. It's good to have everybody in, and it's been a lot of fun. Any last thoughts or questions? I think we've answered all the questions so far.
I think so.
All right. Dale says he's got 30 subs, but he's not put up any new videos since he got the new laptop. Get with it. Get with it, Dale. Get with it. Huey says it's all about the base. Yeah, buddy. All right. We'll see you all next week, if not before. So until then, spin them around. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
everybody.
Thanks for joining.